Hey guys, happy Saturday. We are back. We've had a request and we're going to go ahead and throw a video up for you guys for the Freedom Spire levels 25 through 40. So we're going to get in here and get rocking on that. I was hoping my voice would be quite a bit better today. Feels better, doesn't sound any better. So bear with me on that because you know the drill. We got videos to make. All right, let's jump in here. We're starting on cell 25. This is going to be Global Mystic. Let's look. I think your best option is going to be Hercules, Ancient One, and Agatha. Everybody should pretty much, unless you're brand new, have these somewhat built. Definitely more so than anybody else that's available. So that's who we're going to go in with. And this is actually the third Mystic node. So we're only going to be using them for one node. And then we will continue on. All right. Okay, we definitely want to focus in on Kang. But it's going to be pretty straightforward. Now, of course, my characters are maxed out. I'm going to show you the correct attack order regardless, just in case yours are a little smaller and you actually aren't one-shotting everything. All right, our next nodes are Villain Mutant. So on this, here's the thing. Some of you guys may not have these three. Hopefully you have either Shadow. You should have Shadow King by now, I would hope. If you're brand new, you're probably going to struggle a little bit. But Namor and Daken are going to be the two that we use here. One thing to note, if you are going to use Namor and Daken, make sure that you finish these nodes with Namor's abilities maxed out, because you're going to need that for the Cabal missions. But I'm not going to go in there with Omega and Apocalypse in case some of you guys don't have them built up yet. All right. We're going to go ahead. Oh, does she have taunt? Yeah, I couldn't see it. We're going to go ahead and use his special. Okay, let's go here with his basic. Like I said, we're going to try to keep all of his abilities at max, because when you get to the Cabal section, you're going to want them max for sure. Okay. And we have, it looks like 3 of these nodes. And if you don't have Shadow King unlocked yet, you are probably going to want to take Archangel. So if you are at the point where you're still trying to get Apocalypse, he's definitely going to be your best bet there. And if you've got Daken and Namor decently built, you'll be fine. And I'll demonstrate that. We'll bring him in this next match, because mine's not big at all. He's literally as big as he had to be for me to get Apocalypse. All right, so we'll bring him in on this one just to kind of show you guys. As long as you've got Daken and Namor decently built, you'll be fine. So we'll get in here and get this last node completed for you guys. All right. Let's go ahead and go after Dormammu right out of the gate. Okay, we're going to get hit by everyone because their speed is completely up. All right, let's go ahead and get in here with his special. Get rid of Dormammu. Perfect. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and use Namor's ultimate. But we're going to want to do basics because we've got to get him back to his ability before we get to the end of this, or at least close. Okay, let's go in here. Okay. Get rid of Ghost Rider. Okay. Let's go ahead and use his basic. So we didn't get all the way back to his ultimate, but we got about halfway there. So your first Cabal node, the rest of your Cabal will carry you to get his built back up for the second Cabal node. All right. Let's get into the next one. All right, this is going to be Hero Tech. Okay, so we've got all sorts of options in here. Now, depending on how far along you are in the game, we're going to take her out. I'm going to say you're probably going to have Star Jammers built, but more than likely you will have these three. Now keep in mind, you want to keep Joaquin's abilities as close to maxed as possible. Okay, we're not worried about War Machine too much, so we'll go ahead and use his abilities. And we're not worried about Falcon either. So let's go ahead and use his. Okay. There we go. Our goal is going to be using Joaquin's basics mostly. Of course, if you get into a pickle and you've got to use one of his abilities, then you got to use one of his abilities. But if you can get away with it, try to stay with his basics so that you can keep your abilities ready for the final section. All right. I don't think it really matters who you go after here. Let's go ahead and get rid of Loki. Okay. We're going to stick with his basic, of course. Okay, let's stick with the basic here. All right, we got through her death proof, so let's get rid of her. Let's go after Vol. Okay, there we go. And I'm trying to use basics as much as possible here, just in the event that you guys don't have your teams built up this big. You'll see that you're still going to be able to get through this if you are using your abilities. All right, I think this is the last Hero Tech node. So let's get in here. And keep in mind, these early sections have quite a few tunes available. that you won't need anywhere else. So if you do have to do a sack, you have that available to you. All right, we want to focus on Green Goblin for sure to get rid of his pings. Okay, let's go ahead and get the speed bar rolling. Okay, we're going to go ahead and use his special. Okay. We'll go ahead and use War Machine's ultimate because we're not really concerned about his abilities. And we're also not concerned about Falcons. So go ahead and use them whenever you need to, but stay with Joaquin's basics. All right. Nothing like Marvel Strike Force and coffee. All right, this section's X-Men. You have a plethora of options. We're not going to take the most recent maxed out characters. So let's see. Let's try Forge, Gambit, and Nightcrawler. For any of you guys that are new out there, you should definitely have these guys. So we're going to go in with them. And of course, mine are not maxed out. They're not Gear 20 or any of that stuff. So this will give you a better idea of how these nodes play. All right. And I don't use them very often. Let's jump in here. Stun. Let's go ahead and stun Red Hulk. Okay. Or just delete him. You know, that's fine too. Okay, let's go ahead and use his special. Okay, let's go ahead and work on him. He's down to 1 death proof. I don't know. I think we're going to try to keep his ultimate for now. Okay, let's work on his death proofs. There we go. And then we'll basic here. And that should do it. All right, very good. Now, obviously, if you do have some of the newer mutants available, by all means, use them. This is, excuse me, this is probably the weakest mutant team that I have available, with the exception of Rogue. So I think that you should be fine regardless. All right. We definitely want to stun Kang. We don't need him doing anything goofy. Okay. Let's go right here with his special. That'll get rid of Kang. All right. No need to use Forge's ultimate. You want to save that in case you lose someone because he'll bring them back. So let's go ahead and use his special. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and use his ultimate. Get slow out there. All right. Now we're going to get rid of Omega Red since there's no taunt. And we're going to go right here with his special and hit them all. Okay. And let's go right there, and she's gone. And Gambit is standing in the jungle staring at you with red eyes. So there's that. All right, so we are now on 34. This is also X-Men. We're going to want to focus on Apocalypse. Keep in mind, you cannot stun him, so that is not going to be something that we're going to worry about, but we are going to go after him for sure right out of the gate. He did not start out with charge, so his retaliation is not going to stun anyone. All right, now we're going to use Gambit's ultimate. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and use Forge's ultimate. That'll clear all of the negative effects. And since we're on the last mutant node, don't need to save it. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and finish him off. Now we're definitely going to want to focus on Morgan and get rid of her as soon as possible. Excuse me. We're going to stun her for sure. We do not want her doing anything. Okay. Let's get rid of her, and then it should be smooth sailing from here. All right, very good. All right, let's move on. I think we're moving into cell 35. All right, so next we have the legendary section. We're going to jump in here. Everybody should have Quasar. We're going to take Old Man Logan. And I think most people should have Shadow King. So let's get in here with this. And we'll get rolling. All right. Let's go ahead and go after Rogue. Okay, let's go ahead and you get Old Man Logan's special going. He's got a taunt. Let's get rid of him. Okay. Let's go after Nightcrawler. We want to get rid of him as soon as possible. Okay. Let's go ahead and use his special. Okay. And that should do it on this node. Excuse me. Guys, do not underestimate Quasar. It is astonishing to me that Scopely is giving him out free because he is amazing in every game mode. So definitely make sure you're taking advantage of getting his shards from the command center. All right, let's get back in here. Okay, let's go ahead and go after Green Goblin right out of the gate. Okay, let's go ahead and use his special. We'll go ahead and use Old Man Logan's ultimate. Okay. And that should do it. All right, very good. Okay, I think this is 38 maybe? 37? 37. Okay. So let's get in here on the last legendary node. All right. We're not going to need Quasar anymore, so let's go ahead and use his ultimate. Okay. We'll go ahead and use Shadow King's ultimate because we're not going to need him past this section. All right, let's go ahead and use his special and get rid of all. And then we want to focus on Weaver and get her out of here so she does not get charges. All right, and then this should pretty much do it. All right, there we go. We are moving into the next node. And this section is Undying, I believe. Let's see. Okay, Villain Bio or Undying. All right, I know a lot of people are not going to have Undying. So, and it's possible that you're not going to have Taskmaster and Ghost maxed out either. So let's see here. I'd say a lot of people probably have Super Scroll by now. So we'll go with these three. Undying are very difficult to get your hands on, so even though they'll walk through this, I'm not going to use them. Most people should have the Annihilators and Super Scroll. If you don't, you need to be focusing on getting Super Scroll for sure. All right, we definitely want to go after Apocalypse and get rid of him. Okay, let's go ahead and use Gore's ultimate. Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of Red Hulk and actually get rid of all of them. All right, looks like this section here, we're probably gonna have to put some focus on Black Cat and Weaver. We do not want Weaver getting charges, and Black Cat's just a nightmare all around because she has like 1 billion death proofs. All right, we cannot stun her. She has immunity, so we'll just use the basic. Okay, let's go ahead and use Gladiator's special. All right, and we got rid of her good. Okay. Here we're going to want to, as soon as we get rid of her, we're going to want to focus and get rid of Vol. Well, Vol's gone. All right. So we're going to go ahead and use Skrull's ultimate, and that should get rid of Weaver and pretty much everyone else. Okay. And I believe this is going to be 40. And then, guys, if you have not seen it already, I also have a video out with cells 41 through 58. So if you are needing some help there, make sure to check that video out. All right. Let's get in here on the last one. Okay, go ahead and use his basic. That way we can hit all three of them. Okay, let's go ahead and use his basic. All right, now we're going to use this special, get exposed on scroll, and he's gone. We want to focus on Kang right out of the gate. Okay. Definitely want to get rid of Kang before he starts doing anything. Okay, now we got Apocalypse, and we are good. All right, there we go. Well, guys, I hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Slap that notification bell around so that you get notified when I drop a video. And make sure you share it with your friends if you think it could be useful for them. Until the next one, guys, stay positive and enjoy the game.